Distant into Earth's post-apocalyptic future, the world as we knew it is destroyed by atomic warfare, causing humans to mutate into goblins, reawakening Earth's true ancestors, fairies, dwarfs, and wizards. Black Wolf, the evil wizard, after gathering old world technology and repurposing fascistic propaganda to motivate his malevolent hordes into taking over the world with war, Black Wolf's brother Avatar, the good wizard, must defeat him before it's too late. This is Ralph Bakshi's cult animated classic Wizards, a film that, with a small team of animators and a minuscule budget, managed to create a distinctive animated fantasy that provides a semi-satiric commentary on the evils of fascism, dictatorships, and humanity. It is a narrative of good triumphing over evil, a hopeful, optimistic tale that uses Nazi imagery to reinforce the malicious antagonistic force as an evil born from our not-too-distant history. While Ralph Bakshi's Wizards tackles some very disturbing imagery, from the use of real Nazi propaganda to the setting, Scorch, Black Wolf's own lair, being a terrifying nightmare hellhole straight from the twisted angular shadows and sharply warped backdrops of German expressionist cinema, it also retains its playfully risque sense of humour. Wizards is not as risque as Bakshi's Fritz the Cat film, an animated foray into sex and drugs, but Wizards does still preserve a similarly bawdy approach to its narrative. Fairies are scantily clad, some who are implied to be performing roles of sex workers. The portrayal of violence can be unflinching, disrupting the initially cutesy fantasy portrayals of fairies and nature. Vignettes are implemented to inject moments of humour within the film, such as a soldier who accidentally shoots his peer and shoots aimlessly like his life depends on it. While Wizards is certainly an animated fantasy, its sense of humour and approach to criticising war and dictatorships gives Bakshi's film a very memorable personality. With a mixture of background art illustrated and painted with watercolours, as well as a film score that verges on jazz fusion progressive rock, Wizards has a memorably 70s aesthetic, and even a flair for some near-experimental effects. Rotoscoping animation, a technique where animators trace frame by frame over live-action footage, and even live-action visual effects such as smoke and explosions are used, which creates an additionally unique visual style for the film. While the animation sometimes feels outdated, these rotoscoping sequences are not as smooth as they may once have been, as they feel very noticeable, verging on distracting. It's difficult to not admire the visual ambition that is on offer within Wizards. Wizards is certainly a flawed film. Some vocal performances are monotonous, the dialogue can be heavy on exposition, and the animation can feel limited, but the satirical approach Wizards retains for criticising war and fascism is a strength that is difficult to replicate. Black Wolf, a dictatorial figure desperate to control the world and keep his brutal clutches on an ever-growing army of dark hordes and easily manipulated mutants, is the Tolkien-esque fantasy equivalent of Adolf Hitler. Black Wolf aiming to ruin nature and bring back the forbidden dark arts of humanity, technology. In this regard, Wizards has an environmentally conscious narrative. To overthrow Black Wolf, the source of propaganda must be destroyed. An old-world projector which showcases Nazi propaganda footage, such footage intended to rally the dark forces against the forces of light. If human technology and warfare, that which Black Wolf aims to preserve and use to overtake the planet, is what caused the post-apocalypse within the film, therefore the forces of good should be adamant on stopping them. Wizards is therefore illustrating that humanity's own destruction and downfall is bound to be brutal warfare, the destruction of nature and obliteration of all that is good. The film's anti-fascist and pro-nature stance is therefore an environmentally positive one, applying the characters, events and themes of this film to our present day. Wizards is warning us of the dangers of allowing nature's destruction, the passivity of watching natural habitats destroyed, and the world's problems with pollution. These are man-made destructions that have real-world impact. Wizards is a film that warns of the dangers of allowing our planet to suffer at the hands of man-made evils. Yes, it is a film that has provided a humorous, semi-absurdist fantasy world, distinctive to Ralph Bakshi's own unique style, but the film's subtext demonstrates something haunting. If we don't aim to improve matters, humanity will be its own downfall. In conclusion, Ralph Bakshi's Wizards is an animated feature film with a cult following due to its unique approach to fantasy storytelling. Humorous, absurdist, satirical, and also haunting, Wizards warns of the dangers of dictatorships, fascism, and the destruction of our environment. For a playfully risque mixture of comedy and traditional fantasy, Wizards offers an intelligent subtext that is environmentally and politically conscious. Dictatorships, war, and pollution are human-made issues, and if Wizards is anything to go by, if we're not careful careful, these issues could be the downfall of humanity.